Home cured bacon is something we've been doing for a while now. Luckily, we've got a rare breed farm just up the road. So we've got the bacon, we've got the recipe, and I've written down what I need to put in. So here's the ingredients all laid out, ready to go. So I'm going to start off with the salt. We use Himalayan salt now. I heard on a podcast it's got less plastics in it than sea salt. Not sure that's true. So in it goes. Lovely job there, Mark. And next, the Demerara sugar, just for that little bit of sweetness within the bacon. Now, vitamin C, or ascorbic acid as it says on the thing, I think it just helps with a bit of preservation. And white pepper for flavour. Careful not to get up your nose while you're tipping it into the bowl. It does tend to go flying up in the air, I find. And finally, some black pepper. That's it. That's the last of the ingredients. So just need to tip it into the pestle and mortar there and give it a little crush. Don't want it too fine, just so it puts some nice flavour into the bacon. So that's all the ingredients in the bowl. Now I get to do the messy bit, which is roll the pork belly around, coating it in the cure and into the tray. And that's it. How simple is that? Even I can do it. Fantastic. So the lid goes on. Look at that. Cure sitting on top and all around the pork belly. So that all it's got to do is go in the fridge now for probably about 4 or 5 days. We tend to leave it just so it can draw the moisture out. So here it is coming out of the fridge 4 or 5 days later. And as you can see, it's stiff as a board. Look at that. So the water's come out of the bacon and it's really starting to cure. So I'm going to wipe the tray out because it's got to go back in the fridge to mature. Wash off all of the cure under the tap there. Getting it out of all of the score where it's scored in the skin. And once it's wiped down with a towel and patted dry, it can go back in the tin. So there's both the pork belly's gone back in. So all I've really got to now is put it back in the fridge for another 5 days and then it's ready to eat. Simple as that. Who thought bacon making was so easy? I certainly didn't. So now it's just cut it up and then we can put it in the freezer, and once it's all cut up and in the freezer, this will last us probably months. We don't eat a huge amount of bacon, but how nice is it as a special treat? So that's the first belly chopped up. Now onto the second one. Still got my fingers, which is nice to see. And now for the freezer bags. Now, being a dog owner, it's a bit like picking up a dog poo, isn't it? Look at that. So I should be pretty well practiced at this. Although, it looks like I'm making a little bit of a fist of it. And in it goes. Tie it off, job done. So that's it, all in now. But we've got to leave some for breakfast. It would be rude not to try some, wouldn't it? So in it goes into the freezer. And then it's going to be time for cooking breakfast with the bacon. So then it goes into a nice pan and we can start to hear it sizzle now. And it's really off now. Look at that. Oh, it's making me hungry watching it again now, if I'm being honest. It's only 12 hours ago since I had it. And in goes the mushrooms. They'll suck up the juices. They're lovely. Bacon and mushroom. What a lovely combination. So they're fried off now. And then there's the sauerkraut and the sourdough that we make. You may have seen that in a previous video. On goes the mushrooms and the bacon on the plate. And finally, some lovely, perfectly poached eggs. And they were runny as well. How good was that? So there's breakfast. So we're now going to fill our bellies before we move on with the next job. So into the bee shed. What a mess. I need to get this tidied out. There's stuff everywhere. So I've got to find what we need for today. So I'm looking for the bag where the smoker and the smoking material... Oh, there it is, yep. So there's the bag. We need that one. So now I've got that one. I just need to find the other bag, which has got the gloves and tools in I'm going to need for that. And it's up there. Of course it is. So there we go. There's the 2 bags I need. But I just need to select a smoker now. Yeah, go for that one. It's more shiny. I'll have that one. And we'll put it in the tractor. We'll take the tractor today, actually. So we'll put it in the transport box. There's the bee suits going in to make sure we don't get stung or stung as much. But so we're now about to see, have our hives survived the winter? I've already killed off one earlier in the winter through my own stupidity. So let's see what we find. Are you ready, Glenda?
Yeah.
Smoke is lit. Food is ready. Are you ready? Here we go. Okay, let's have a look at the other one. Bees flying in this colony as well. So we need to just, this was tipped over in the winter, look, it's sunk in because of the wet. So, still, I think they're okay for food this week. So we'll put an escaping board in and that'll tell us a bit more next week then. Job done.
Happy?
See pollen on the feet. Can you see that one with pollen on its legs?
Yeah.
So they're bringing pollen in. Yeah.
One just...
Brilliant. Yeah, so they're bringing pollen in as well, which is what they need for feeding the brood. Hi girls. Really glad you've made it through the winter. Thank you. So we'll leave you in peace now and we'll see you in a week's time.